Howdy. As you can see, I am not in the trunk of a vehicle right now, and if you read the title correctly, you will see this video will be on gas mileage. And as you can see, this is my 2004 Ford F-150 Lariat Super Crew Cab, which currently sits at 140,252 miles. Now, a quick backstory before I begin. I purchased my truck in the middle of July of 2018 for $10,500, in that range. And before I purchased this, I knew that I was in for a bit of a nightmare as far as gas mileage, as it is a 5,700 pound pickup truck. And a quick stat line for this vehicle: it is a 2004 with the notoriously amazing 5.4 liter Triton V8. The window sticker boasted 14 miles per gallon city and 18 miles per gallon highway, or translated into automotive terms, total bullshit, as the current gauge cluster inside my truck currently sits at 11.3 miles per gallon, which is surprisingly not the worst that it's been at. And as of now, gas prices in New Jersey currently sit at about $2.50, as New Jersey, the only thing that's good about living in this state is the low gas prices. But in this video, I'll be kind of showing you how much money I spent on gasoline in this castle of a truck. It's 5,700 pound frame, and it's economical gas mileage with some projections as well to make it a bit more logical. As I said, the stat line for this vehicle, model year is 2004. It's an F-150 Lariat Super Crew Cab. It has 300 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. It weighs at about 5,700 pounds. The window sticker said 14 city, 18 highway. And I'm going to dive into the gas mileage on this vehicle and how much I spent in about a little more than half a year of ownership. And a quick disclaimer: I drive very locally, going about 10 miles a day between work and school. So this is not the most practical estimation. However, I made a projection for those who daily drive with a more farther commute. So stay tuned. And as you can see in the gauge cluster, the average MPG in my pickup truck miraculously managed to go down 1/10 of a mile per gallon on the way home, just to show you how economical and fuel efficient this vehicle truly is. But just to show you, as the window sticker boasted, 14 city, 18 highway, it is averaging 11.2 miles per gallon, despite what the window sticker boasted. However, this is a normal factor in all vehicles, not just pickup trucks that are 15 years old. Nonetheless, here it is. And as a friendly comparison, this is my mother's 2019 Toyota Corolla XSE hatchback with 11,000 miles. And this vehicle's stat line, it is 15 years newer than my truck. It is about 2,700 pounds lighter. Its average EPA estimated MPG is 30 miles per gallon city, 38 miles per gallon highway. It has a 2-liter 4-cylinder CVT engine, automatic. And it gets 168 horsepower at 6,600 RPM. Now, though this little tyke cannot tow nearly 10,000 pounds, it is very practical and economical, as I will be using this as a bit of a comparison as a side-by-side commuter vehicle between a 15-year-old full-size pickup and a brand new modernized hatchback. Stay tuned. And as you can see in the Corolla's digitalized infotainment screen, Toyota proudly boasts the miles per gallon estimates that you get in your Corolla hatch. As you can blatantly see, it gets 35.5 miles per gallon, as it actually nearly lives up to the window sticker's highway miles per gallon. However, you cannot strictly do highway driving regardless of where you live. So this vehicular featherweight does pretty good as a side-by-side comparison via gas mileage to the truck, which is blatantly obvious, but nonetheless, to show you the estimated aside from the window sticker, here it is. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep this video as short and sweet as possible, so I'm going to try and get through this quickly. Essentially, I bought my truck in the beginning of July, as I mentioned, and as I mentioned as well, I don't drive that often, or as much as like normal people would. I usually only drive about 10 miles a day from back and forth from school, and then on occasion to work, which is only a mile down the road from me. So I'm only going about 10-12 miles a day. Nonetheless, that results in about a fill up once every 2 weeks, and I usually fill up my truck when it only has a quarter tank of fuel left in it. And basically, as I said, I bought the truck in the beginning of July, but I started recording fuel prices in the middle of September just because I was curious to see how much it would run me for about a year's worth of gas. And since I said I started recording my fill-ups in the middle of September, I missed about 2 months worth of fill-ups from the middle of July to the middle of September. But I went to Boston in the second week of September, and I filled up 3 times in 3 days, which almost made up for about a month's worth of fuel cost in August if I filled up once every 2 weeks. And basically, whenever I fill up, I usually pay about mid to high 40s, sometimes ranging from mid to high 50s as well, depending on how expensive gas is, for 3/4 of a tank of regular gasoline fuel. And basically, in New Jersey, gas prices are relatively cheap from states in the Northeast. If you go down south to Texas, Virginia, Florida, gas prices might range a little bit cheaper. Like, when I went to North Carolina about 2 months ago, gas prices were about like $1.95. Nonetheless, gas prices in New Jersey fluctuated from about like 260, 270 in September, and it slowly dwindled. It went to about 250 in the middle of like late October, November, and it kept dropping as the winter progressed, and it reached about, the low was about 217, 220 in late December. The most I ever paid for one single fill-up that I recorded was $57 on October 11th, when I believe gas was about $2.72 a gallon for regular. Nonetheless, I'll show you the chart of my fill-ups, but the grand total of fill-up costs in 2018 for me was $534.46 for 12 fill-ups. And then 2019 rolled along, and as I said, basically, the gas prices were very low in the beginning of the winter. I believe, like I said, in the beginning of January, it was about 218, 220 for a gallon of regular fuel. And I only paid like $43.50, I believe, on January 12th when I filled up then, which shows you how cheap gas was for a gallon of fuel. Nonetheless, so I filled up once every 2 weeks. The most I ever paid in 2019 was $55, which was just recently. As gas prices slowly trickled up from the 220s into the 250s, it was about $269 about a week ago when I filled up for another time. And as I said, this thing gets 11 miles per gallon, so the fuel economy is absolute dog shit. But that's what you get when you're buying a full-size pickup. And when you add all the total prices of fuel costs in 2019, my total so far is $341. Add that to the 2018 total of $534.46. You get a grand total of $875.46 for 20 fill-ups. The average being $41.69 per fill-up. And obviously that is a bit low, as sometimes I just went to the gas station to get a flat rate where the fuel may be like $20, $30, whatever I had in my wallet that day. Nonetheless, though, grand total is nearly $900, filling up once every 2 weeks for about, give or take, 8 months. So my grand total for filling up once every 2 weeks would be about $1,200-ish for me. But knowing that more people fill up, not once every 2 weeks, I made a couple projections that I will show you momentarily that hopefully give you a bit of a better reading for your fuel consumption in a single year. So if anybody wants to take a look at this is all my fill-ups that I've recorded since the middle of September. If you look closely at the 2018 numbers, you can kind of see the prices kind of raised from the mid-50s to the high 50s in the fall and October. And then if you go towards December and the winter months, as it changes to 2019, you can kind of see them slowly decrease from mid to high 50s into like the mid to low 40s even, as I previously mentioned. Nonetheless, so if anybody wants to check it out, you can see the totals of 534.46 and 341 for 2018 and 19 respectively, with a grand total of 875.46 as previously mentioned. So if anyone wants to pause it and take a look at the numbers, feel free to go ahead and I'll leave them right there for you. And then the projections coming up right next. So this is a breakdown of my projections on how much you would spend in a year on gas with these numbers. And these are very, very precise, so take this with a grain of sand. So essentially, there's 365 days in a year, and let's say you fill up once every 3 days, which is approximately 122 times a year. So if you fill up 122 times per year and divide that by 4 spans of 3 months, so you'd be filling up 31 times in each 3 month span. So let's say you fill up with exactly half a tank per each fill up. So the 2004 Ford F-150 Lariat Super Crew Cab has a 30-gallon fuel tank, so every single fill up you would be filling up with 15 gallons of fuel exactly. So say from January through March, it is $2.75 per gallon. So you're filling up with 15 gallons for $2.75, which will be $41.21 per fill. 31 times within that 3 month span is $1,278.75. And then as the year progresses in the springtime, it decreases to $2.65 per gallon between the months of April and June. You fill up with 15 gallons every single time, which is an average of $39.75 per fill. Do your 31 fills, and you get a grand total of $1,232.25 in the 3 month span. Now continue the same thing with July through September, except the price goes to $2.50 per gallon, and then continue the trend between October and December, where gas prices plummet to a generous $2.20 per gallon of regular fuel. Now this will be a bit more accurate if you live in the northeast region of America. However, it'll still give you a decent outlook on how much you would spend on gas in a year in a full-size truck with a pretty substantial commute on a daily basis. So if you add the grand totals of the projections between each 3 month span, you get a grand total of $4,696.50 for a yearly worth of gas. Divide that by 124 fills, give or take. Say you add one more in there or two, you're paying about $37.88 per fill up, and my total was about $8.75. So, remembering the Corolla in the beginning of the video, our friendly side-by-side comparison, we are going to see how much of a difference it would make if you get a compact coupe instead of a full-size pickup. So, the Corolla Hatchback has a 13.2 gallon fuel tank, and we are doing the same variables as was tested in the F-150 example. So, from January through March, and you're paying $2.75 per gallon, instead of filling up with 15 gallons of fuel, you're only doing 6.5 or 6.6 for a 13.2 gallon fuel tank. So filling up 6.6 gallons of fuel for $2.75 is $18.15 per fill, which is $562.65 for 31 fill-ups. Fun fact, if you want to take a look at it, the Corolla's full gas tank is nearly 2 gallons less than half of the F-150, just as a cool little comparison. But anyway, continuing from April to June, $2.65 per gallon with your 6.6 gallons per every single fill up every 3 days. It's $17.49 per fill. Your 31 times, it'll be $542.19. And then same thing from July through September, $2.50 per gallon. You do your regular fill-ups once every 3 days with half tank worth. It'll be $511.50 for the summer months. And in the winter months, with $2.20 a gallon, half tank, it'll be $14.50 per fill, and that'll be $450 and 12 cents at the end of 3 months. So if you add the four 3 month span totals together for the Corolla Hatchback, you will get an estimate of $2,066.46 per a year's worth of gasoline in a small compact hatchback. Divide that by 124 fills, you get $16.67 as your average. Nonetheless, yeah, those are just a bit of a comparison. If you're driving more and you have a longer commute, obviously you'd be spending more. Or if you drive on a very minimal basis, such as myself, you won't be plucking down a crap load of money on gasoline. Nonetheless, that's just a bit of a projection. Hopefully, this will give you a bit more insight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And there will be more reviews in store sometime soon, along with these quirky little videos such as this. So yeah, thanks.